thanks for having me. So today, we have a team of speakers from Bank of Cabo Verde, TISAOS, and African Neda Foundation. We'll be sharing our recent experience in Cape Verde with a successful, I can consider it as a successful deployment of a Mojalo platform within a very tight time frame. So we will be sharing the key objectives of the project, what we have really achieved, the results, but also the lesson learned from this project. So welcome on the stage, Ni, who is the CEO of TISAOS. Carlos, please join me on the stage. Carlos is the IT director of Bank of Cabo Verde, and my colleague John, technical payment specialist at African Neda. So maybe before we start, let me let you introduce yourselves. Let me start with Carlos.
Good morning. I am Carlos Luz from Central Bank de Cabo Verde. I am IT director. I work in this.
Is your micro working?
Okay. I am working in this project.
Good. Thank you, Carlos. Ni?
My name is Nie. I'm CEO of the TISAOS. We were fortunate to work with the African Neda to implement the proof of concept and the pilot for the Bank of Cabo Verde using Mojalo. Thank you.
John?
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Mudiora, technical payment specialist with African Neda. Thank you.
I'm sure that in the room, most of people here don't know Cabo Verde. So maybe, Carlos, you can give a perspective of the Cabo Verde market, also taken from the payment perspective.
First, I thank for this opportunity to share our experience. Cabo Verde is a small country. Cabo Verde is an archipelago, 10 islands, which around 4,030 square kilometers, and has a coastline about 1,000 kilometers. Cabo Verde is also a small, has also a small population, about half a million. In terms of the payments ecosystem, we have 7 commercial banks, 15 MFI, microfinance institutes, and you have about 400,000 bank account holders. We have 350,000 bank cards in the circulation. We have about 700,000 bank accounts in total. We have about 218 ATMs, 11,900 POS terminal. In the 2023, we had 53 million transactions processed. In our currency is about 187 billion Cabo Verdean escudo. In dollar, around the 1,848 billion. Cabo Verde has a strong digital banking and card transaction penetration compared to other African countries. And Cabo Verde have a switch operator. The CISP is a switch operator owned by 40% BCV, Central Bank, and 60% by commercial bank.
Carlos said that the Cabo Verde is a small market, but I forgot to say that it's also an amazing island. So, John, why did African Neda Foundation decide to support Cape Verde? Maybe before you talk about the key objectives of the project, it will also be good to remind us a key background of this project, the POC.
All right. Thank you, Jamelino. I think I'd just summarize and say that when we initially engaged with the Banco de Cabo Verde, the question was how, in this context, how would instant and inclusive digital instant payments be relevant and contribute to the country? And looking at the strategy of the bank and the government in terms of digitizing payments and especially retail instant payments, there was a perfect alignment in terms of their goals and strategy, as well as African Enda's mission and the objectives of the Moja Loop Foundation. So, Jam, if you could go to the next slide. We had very clear objectives, which can be summarized as rapidly and affordably demonstrating end-to-end payments between existing financial institutions. Now, unlike other ecosystems, Cabo Verde does not have mobile money operators, but as Carlos has mentioned, they do have very strong digital banking. But they tend to operate in silos where it's not card transactions. And so we needed to demonstrate person-to-person payments, showing how Moja Loop can advance inclusiveness for people who are remote, people who tend to normally be excluded because they're not in the towns and the cities, and on some islands. And then also advance the skills and the involvement of local integrators through hands-on experience during this pilot. We also wanted to make sure that with every activity we were doing, we were not only meeting the end of the pilot, but addressing anticipated future needs if they chose to scale it up to a national project. We also had a very clear goal that whichever financial institutions would be onboarding, we would want to ensure we demonstrate end-to-end payments, and then at the end of the day also demonstrate settlements. They would do this manually and disconnected from the live production systems of the central bank. We still wanted to make sure that we can demonstrate an end-to-end process of real-time transactions and settlement that would involve all ecosystem stakeholders. Thanks.
Excellent, John. So now let me ask Ni, how long did it take to deploy the POC? If you can also give a brief overview of the key activities deployed during this POC.
Thank you, Jam. The next slide, please. So the project started officially on September 10 for us, for TISAWORKS. We leveraged the groundwork that was done by African Nanda Moja Loop Foundation in engaging with the regulators in the country, and we benefited from that. The official project for the technical implementation started in September. On September 10, we had the kickoff meeting with the Bank of Cabo Verde, and on February 3rd, we actually demonstrated the end-to-end transactions with 3 DFSPs participating who were integrated with the hub. During this time, there were a lot of meetings with the stakeholders. Overall, in this 100 days, within 100 days, we were able to deliver the solution and also integrate it with the 3 DFSPs. During this 100 days, we had 25 meetings with the regulators and the stakeholders in the steering committee. We'll talk about the governance later. We also had meetings among the project management team on a weekly basis. There were about 25 weeks, so we had about 25 meetings. In addition to that, TISAWORKS also had the work stream related meetings as well. Overall, there were around 100 meetings. So in 100 working days, there were about 100 meetings as well. It may sound like overkill, but I think that actually led us to achieve the results that we wanted to achieve, because there were a lot of coordinations among the different stakeholders. We were very lucky to have the Bank of Cabo Verde fully supporting and leading and giving us the decisions very quickly, so that it allows us to move forward. Within 2 weeks from the beginning of the kickoff meeting, we were able to deploy in the hub, and we started meeting with the DFSP right after that. And we had the SOPs drafted, and also the work streams activated, different draft documents like scheme rule document, and also regulatory review, as well as the SOPs for the hub operation, etc. So by the end of December 2024, we were almost ready. But, because of the holidays, right, we had like some, delays. But, on the beginning of February, we were able to show the end-to-end demonstration with three DFSPs, right, connected to their systems.
Okay. So maybe I will stay with you, Ni. I know that one of the key success factors of this project was the governance structure. Maybe you can shed light on the structure we put in place in terms of governance.
Sure. So during the kickoff meeting, right, we proposed to the central bank the governance structure for the scheme, and they uh, um, internally discussed, right, about that, and then they came back with the approval, right, very quickly, and we're very fortunate for that. So there is a project steering committee that oversees the project. The project steering committee is chaired by the regulator, Central Bank of Cabo Verde, and the members of the project steering committees are the DFSP who are participating in this project, as well as African Lender and the SAWOX as facilitator for this. And there's a project management team who is reporting to project steering committee. The project management team are the implementers of this project from the technical side, as well as the substantive side as well. There are 4 work streams that were created. Technology work stream that oversees the technology deployment. The business work stream that works on pricing model and other commercial related activities. And there's a regulatory work stream that started drafting, reviewing a scheme rule document. That was not necessary, for this pilot phase, but it was going to be something that is needed. So, we started working on that. And there's also a hub operations work stream that works on the onboarding DFSP and also preparing the SOPs for the hub operator. We work very closely with the hub operator in the country, and also local the system integrator, right, to achieve that. So on the screen, right, you can see that the project lead was the Bank of Cabo Verde, and the participating DFSPs in this project all participated in the steering committee, as well as in different work streams. Different teams from the DFSP participated in different work streams, and the system integrator SIPS was our close partner. The technical team from Bank of Cabo Verde plus the technical team from the system integrator share what we do. They have access to our the environment that we're working on. So at the same time that we are working, we're also sharing knowledge as well. The stakeholder management was managed by African Lender, and we were the technology provider. The success of this project rests very largely on this governance structure, and also the support that we got from the regulators in driving and also making the decisions very, very quickly, and also in collaborative fashion, and that helped this project.
Yes, and I think we can say that the involvement from the Bank of Cape Verde has been a key element of success for the project. So now, in terms of key activities, design, architecture put in place, what has Tech TISA done exactly?
Thank you. I think that's another reason why we were able to deliver, right, this proof of concept within 100 days. We use standard Moja loop that was officially released, and also we use the payment manager as the participation tool, which is the standard supported by the Moja Loop community, and there was no customization at all, right? So that allowed us to actually deploy the hub and also start integrating with the DFSB very quickly. One of the major challenges with a project like this is, right, one, there are extensive customization and complex implementation. It requires additional time, right, to do that. But in this proof of concept, it was a very straightforward implementation, and we have to also consider the challenges that could be faced by the DFSB when we are working on this project, because some DFSB require changes in their systems and working with their vendors. So that was something that we needed to deal with in this period. But I will not go through the technical design because there will be a lot of sessions that will cover that. But we use version 16 of Moja Loop, hosted in Amazon Cloud, managed by African Nano team, and we were the admin of that environment. And we had payment managers for each DFSP who are connecting right to the hub as the participation tool for that. It was a standard in Mojalu deployment, and we were able to do that very quickly. And we learned from that experience working with DFSP, their challenges, and also they also learn what they need to do for the next phase of the project. Thank you, Jam.
Okay, thank you, Nia. So, Carlos, let me know what are the results achieved at the end of the POC as the IT director. What is your personal appreciation of the project?
Okay, in the Majloop Hub, about the result, Majloop Hub and related models were deployed in 3D FSP, are integrated in that's Majloop Hub. 3D FSP were integrated in Majloop Hub. And we have another result is the end-to-end transaction. The end-to-end transaction for the P2P use case were demonstrated between tests and user of the 3D FSP. Another result is for us is very important is the comprehensive technical knowledge and the hub operation process were transferred to local team. And another result for us is too is very important for the local team in Cabo Verde and gain the adequate knowledge to build the project, for example, the plan and the custom model for the commercialization phase. For us, it's very important result for the project.
I know it was also a great learning experience. Steve was presenting this morning the countries where the Mojalo Foundation is intervening, and we also got the chance to have the deployment of the accelerator program in Cabo Verde. So now I want to hear you, John. In terms of lessons learned from the project, what can you share with us? And then that will be Carlos.
For us,
maybe you can start first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. For us, is the leadership of the BCV, the central bank, was a key role on the pilot project. As it take a clear is important to define the clear ownership of the project, and for us is important to define the main goals of to be achieved with the project. Another lesson for us is very important, engaging a stakeholder from the beginning. If engaging stakeholder for the beginning of the project is very important because that ensures that the better alignment and the understanding of the project objective.
As Carlos has said, I think it's possible to understate the key role the central bank played in engaging stakeholders. You notice that this was carried out during the last quarter of the calendar year, which also happened to be the last quarter of the financial year for many of the financial institutions. But they were able to mobilize the financial resources, the technical teams, and actually do the integration, whether it was a local development team, a regional team, or a vendor in a different continent. They were actually able to get these integrations done and finalized with leadership support at the executive level in the steering committee, with technical leadership in the different technical teams and the work streams. And one of the things that also accelerated the process was having a technical mission with the ThetaWorks team and ourselves about halfway through the pilot to accelerate the communication between the technical teams and accelerate the integration work that was going on. This actually played a very key role in addressing issues and blocking certain decisions and moving faster. And documenting of, as Konyi has said, there were very many meetings, but at the various levels, ensuring that the steering committee had full briefing of all the different work streams on a regular, at most fortnightly basis, really unblocked decision making and accelerated execution. And then finally, we also made sure that during the entire process, there was a lot of resources and time being allocated to technical discussions and meetings for those involved. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I think from what I heard, I don't know if the clicker is still working. No. Was that the last slide? Okay. So from what I heard, I think we can see it was a successful deployment. Now we are progressing to full implementation. We are expecting, I would say, green lights from the Bank of Cape Verde for this new phase of full implementation. We will integrate more DFSPs. For the moment, we have onboarded 3. So we will integrate more DFSPs. We will integrate more use cases. So it will not just be P2P. I think we will also integrate P2M and P2G also. So for this stage, we will also have a look at element like non-technical aspect of the project, so business model, scheme rule to be reviewed, all that thing. So I think we still have time. I want to take about 5 to 10 minutes to take a few questions from the audience. Who can support, please? Any question for speakers?
Thank you very much for this presentation. I think on the key learnings part, I think what I found was an interesting takeaway is the central bank's leadership role up front. And I'd love to hear if you could expand a little bit on that development of a championship role for the project and the way in which that allowed you to subtly, if not by mandate, to drive the integration with the very difficult processes of technical integration and rule writing and so forth. I'd love to a little bit more color,
please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good morning. My name is Paul Mendy from Central Bank of the Gambia. I really enjoyed the presentation and I thank you for the clarity of it. Nonetheless, I wanted to just be clear as to, because I saw mention of 2 commercial banks. I think EcoBank is one of them. And I also assume that prior to the project, there was already a switch in country. And I wanted to understand what really, where the modular loop system really sits. Has it been able to facilitate connectivity for all the smaller institutions in the country? Or is just leveraging, as one of the speakers said, leveraging the already existing system and is connectivity for the lower level of society is still pending? Just a question. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we collect more questions before? Yeah, please.
Hello, thank you. Good morning. My name is Majid from the Institute of Inclusive Digital Africa. My question is on the deployments. If I heard correctly, you mentioned cloud deployment. Was it just for the solution? And what aspects of the system were deployed on premise? And then if you can further elaborate on the data protection laws of Cape Verde, just to have a brief idea on why the decision was taken for the cloud deployments. Thank you.
Okay, I think we can start answering this question. So the first question, John, you want to take the first question from Bank of Sierra Leone?
Role of the central bank. So Tumila's question about the role of the central bank and how they were able to drive this, I'll just touch on different aspects. One of the decisions the central bank took was that they would take ownership of the pilot, the project, and in the end, they will be the owner of the platform. And so they formed, in addition to the overall steering committee, they had an internal steering committee chaired by the deputy governor with Carlos as the director of IT and the head of national payments together. as well as there's a director. There were 4 directors who were sitting on that internal steering committee to engage with the banks and the financial institutions, to engage with the technology company, and to engage with all of us about decision making. They also made decisions around directly engaging the financial institutions, making sure that each of them attended the kickoff, addressing questions around costs, budget, timelines, and what flexibility the banks had to do this later, as you said, and what sequence they should expect in terms of timeline, resource demand, and engaged with them on an ongoing basis on those questions. The steering committee was also very participatory, I would say. There was very strong contributions from different steering committee members with strong feedback from the central bank, actively involved in each meeting at the highest level. I know there were internal central bank meetings also on a regular basis to coordinate activities, to coordinate responses, and to give direction to the financial institutions. Yeah.
Thank you, John. Ni, you want to take the next question?
For the deployment?
Yep.
Yes, to the question regarding the deployment, for this pilot phase, the whole system, including the hub, as well as the participation tools, were deployed on the cloud. For the commercial phase, there has been discussions regarding the on-prem deployment, but it has not happened yet. And the decision, I am also not aware of whether this decision has been reached yet, but the discussions were that the next deployment will be on-prem. For the pilot though, right, the hub as well as the participation tools were all done on the cloud.
Good. Any other question? Are we taking a last question? Okay.
No, hello? Sorry, there was another question? There was, hello?
Yes. Okay.
There was another
Okay,
question.
please.
There was another.
I don't know who is talking actually. Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay.
So just start here.
Okay. Hello? My name is David.
Sorry.
My name is David
Yeah, please.
from Amarante Consulting. Actually, there was another question that you didn't touch on about the disaster recovery and BCP that was put in place. I don't know, it didn't talk about that. It would be interesting to see what infrastructure was put in place and how do you test it. And also, there was another question that was asked about the data protection and the hosting of the data in the cloud. How do we ensure data protection and also backup of that data to make sure if there's any issue, there's higher variability of those?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Ni, you want to take the question on disaster? For data protection, are you good with that question?
For the disaster recovery, right, there were discussions and the planning that were put in place in this stage, but no actual deployment for the disaster recovery was done because the scope of this phase was to ensure that the DFSP can connect right to the hub and that the transactions can be made among themselves. So that was the scope of this phase. But as a part of the next phase, the disaster recovery environment, right, for the primary will be included in the planning and design and also the deployment because the plan for the commercial phase is to deploy the solution on-prem. The disaster recovery most likely will be on-prem, but the design has to be fleshed out. So the decision has not been reached yet. In terms of other accelerated system, right, they are also in the pilot phase. It was limited, but I think on the next phase, whenever it is possible, right, it will most likely be deploying on-prem as well. But it is remain to be seen. So in terms of the data privacy law, right, we as a part of the project, we study existing laws in the country and see the compliance with that. Right? For the pilot phase, right, there was a full compliant with the existing laws in place, but there is also in Cabo Verde a review at the national level on data privacy law and how it can be used to oversee or govern this operation as well.
There's also a question on data protection. You want to take that one?
Yes. So one of the questions was, so how we address the question of data protection and retaining data in the country is that for the purpose of demonstrating the end-to-end transactions, test accounts were created, and that's what was used for the end-to-end transactions. So that way we are not transferring citizen data out. As Konyi has said, there's an ongoing review to make sure that in terms of the regulatory aspects, there's an end-to-end review of what are the requirements in a regulatory way and from a governance perspective to support an IIPS and an instant retail payment system. I hope that's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. So I think we are at the end of this panel session. Thank you for your time. Please join your hands for Carlos, Ni, and John. Thank you.